Okay, for a head trim, the head should always be equidistant from the inside corner of the eye to the start of the nose leather back to the occiput. So on most dogs, if they're equal, I want a line to start right here from the inside corner of the eye. So a lot of times I'll take like my scissors and come straight down and then see where I want to trim that underline. And for the under part, I take my straight scissors and go back. And I'll use a little slicker. And anything beyond where that inside corner eye is, I want to leave that. It will make that head look very light. And this one actually does have a very light head, so she'll be a good one. If I have a dog with a short head, I'll take this back further. With a long head, I won't take it back as far, but for a dog who is actually equidistant, again, right there in the corner of the eye. The next thing I'd go to is the stop. And I never cut a line straight across. You always want to go diagonal, like so. And snip, snip, and then check again. And some dogs have more hair, have thicker coat than others. But I want to do back and forth. And just thin that hair out. So then, and we're not done yet because we'll need to finish the top skull, but I want the stop to sit again at the inside corner of the eye. But from the profile, if you do that a little bit of a triangle up in between the eyes, it will look straight without leaving a straight mark. Now, some people like to pull all the hair up and cut it off the same height. I don't like to do that. I like the hair to keep its original length and then lay down flat. But I do need to take some out of her top skull. You can see where it's from here to here and here to here, where there's a extra hair there. So I just take my thinners and this is where most people get this wrong. Put it all the way down to the skull. You can tell that I'm hitting her head. Don't cut just the tops off. Go ahead and put it all the way down, thin, thin. And then even with those two snips, it's already so much flatter looking because that hair is gone. So I have a little bit bulging right here yet. And again, the trimmer's all the way to the skull. So I like to do a little bit and then stop, wait usually even it's better to wait a whole day, but at least an hour or two and see how everything's going to lay as we groom up the rest of the dog. So the next thing I'm going to do is the sides, and I want to go from where we made that cut to the inside corner of the ear, and we are going to make a line here, and we won't cut any hair off behind that line. And again, I'm going to use the thinners and just take those tips to that imaginary line to the inside of the ear. And again, where we went to the corner of the eye and then up to the corner of the ear. So one of the things dogs, especially Shelties, don't like to be manhandled. And a lot of times, now she's being very good because we've brushed her out and she's tired now. But if they're wiggly, I tap them a little bit. And I know that sounds weird, but it kind of breaks up their, if they're doing all this stuff with their head. And instead of like trying to grab it and like really hold it steady, I just put the 2 fingers here and just like tap them or try to get their attention. And 99.9% of the time they will stop fidgeting with their head. I don't know why it works, but it does. And like I said, she's not doing it, so it's hard to show exactly, but she but that's how I get them to stop if they're moving their head around while I'm trying to groom it. Now she's losing coat and she doesn't have a lot of hair for me to take off. So we'll probably try and do another dog at some point in time with another video. But that's all the hair you really need to take off to start with. And a little gel up here to make sure that lays flat. And you can see she's got a little fill in her stop. So I think I'll take a little more hair out here, but look at how flat that top skull is now. And I see that I need to blend this a little better. And the side a little better. And a little more hair off. Now, I've only personally known 5 Shelties that have a truly round muzzle. Very, very few dogs have a truly round muzzle. So what most dogs have is flat here and then a kind of some edges and then down. She actually, for her age and sex, has a pretty decent amount of muzzle for her back skull. It fits. So she's not super exaggerated, but you will see a lot of dogs where you will see these edges. And one of the things that can make the muzzle look rounder is if you take the hair off the edges and round those edges a little bit. And as you can see, it's not a lot. Everything's in, especially to start out with, in minimum. But when we get ready to show and go in the ring and we add a little powder to this face, and she's a little dehydrated right now, it's hot out, so this won't be as exaggerated with this dip here, and she'll look like she has a pretty nice round muzzle. So and she, fortunately, she has a pretty flat top skull to start with, so it's not hard to make it look flat. And basically, besides the whiskers, that's pretty much what I do for a head